Thanks for checking out this haul video. So yeah, I'm going to go over what I got for October from Vinegar Syndrome. As you can see, it's a good deal. I'm just doing it all in one video. Sometimes I would go and kind of cut it into two, but not going to do that this time. So first of all, I'm going to show you the shirt. Then I'm going to show you the partner label stuff that I got. Then I'm going to go into the actual Vinegar Syndrome proper stuff. So first of all, the shirt. I, for the most part, really like the feel of their shirts and the cut of their shirts, but a lot of the time I don't like the actual designs on their shirts, unfortunately. Um, so I'm very picky about that stuff. So I did see one that I was like, I have to, because I'm a big Spookies fan. I love the movie Spookies so much. I even have like I think 3 separate videos on my channel about Spookies, a review of Spookies, a one reviewing the documentary on Spookies, and then one talking about the difference between the original script of Spookies and what actually ended up on film, and then also some behind the scenes stuff, because I did get information from one of the people who was involved in the film who wanted to remain anonymous, and they sent me a script, so that was cool. But you can look for those. But anyway, so I had to get the Spooky shirt. Love it. It looks, whoops, how all right, gotta move it here. There we go. It looks great. I mean, the design is awesome. It says Vinegar Syndrome on it. Two things I love, Spookies and Vinegar Syndrome. So had to pick that one up. Super cool. Very excited about that one. Okay, so then I got 2 partner label films. I try to limit my spending and not buy many partner labels, but sometimes they just, pop out at me and I'm like, oh, well, these are ones that I have to get. And by the way, while I'm on that topic, if you ever feel like you want to kind of monetarily contribute to what I'm doing, I do have memberships, a link for memberships in the description. You do get some things for a nominal fee. I also enabled super thanks on my channel if you do want to just contribute like a one-time donation that way. But I do want to say this. If you do not feel like you are at a place where you're financially feeling good, do not become a member or do a super thanks or anything like that, because I don't want other people to donate to me basically unless they're feeling very secure. So I just never want to place people in a situation where they're spending money on me when they should be spending it on something else, basically. So just know that. Also, while I'm talking about it, if you want to subscribe to my channel, that shows me your support. Thumbs up on these videos also shows your support. I appreciate that stuff. Anyway, so the one movie, one of the partner labels I really needed to get, and this one's through, is this the Catalog, I think? Is Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. I know I've seen a lot of people online talk about how much they don't like this movie. I love this movie. It's a stupid horror comedy where basically there is no Dude Bro Party Massacre 1 or 2. They're just making fun of horror movies in such a fun way. Plus, Greg Sestero's in it, and Andrew WK randomly, but it is a lot of fun. I think the slipcover looks really stupid. I understand what they were trying to do. I don't like the slipcover to it, but I actually like their original artwork a lot better. Oh, and there's shirtless Greg Sestero for anyone who needed to see it. Oh yeah, Patton Oswalt also in this one. And there's actually a booklet in here, which is exciting. And then they have, the discs. I highly recommend this one for people who like stupid horror comedies. It's one of those. It's a lot of fun. So I had to pick up Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. And then the other partner label I had to get, this is a movie that I think is wild. The first time I saw this was actually streaming on Shudder. And it blew my mind as to, first of all, how beautiful of a film it is. Second of all, how much interesting subtext is in the film. And third of all, just how over the top, like, wild this film is. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta look for it. It is The Reflecting Skin. And I really do like this slipcover. This is a very cool slipcover. Even though it's kind of simplistic, it's very cool. And then here's the original artwork. Yes, Viggo Mortensen, a young Viggo Mortensen in this film. And there is a booklet in this one too, which I'm very excited about because I'm hoping that talks about kind of some of the subtextual stuff in this one. Actually, I just realized I did not read the back of Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 for you. I'll do that real quick and then jump back to Reflecting Sin. Sorry. A satirical twist on the gory and sexually charged 1980s slasher genre, Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 is presented as the only surviving VHS copy of the reviled horror franchise's third and final installment. In the wake of two back-to-back mass murders on Chico's frat row, loner Brent Chirino must infiltrate the ranks of a popular fraternity to investigate his twin brother's murder at the hands of the serial killer known as Motherface. As they are picked off one by one, Brent and his fellow Dude Bros must face the terrifying reality that their deadly foe, believed to have been killed twice, has returned from the grave again and is hellbent on the destruction of the Delta Bros. So, sorry about that. And then Reflecting Skin. I'm going to read the synopsis on this one. Oh, I did show the inside. Okay. It's one of those days. I'm sorry. I'm just a little off. As mysterious deaths plague a small prairie town in 1950s Idaho, 8-year-old Seth comes to believe that Dolphin Blue, the reclusive English widow living next door, is a vampire. Seth's worst nightmares come true when his older brother Cameron returns home from military service and falls in love with the widow. Could he be her next victim? This is a super interesting film. And like I said, from a subtext standpoint, if you like just visually rich films and subtextually rich films, Reflecting Skin. I cannot recommend this one enough, although it is a little bit much. It is kind of like, there's some messed up themes in it and some messed up stuff in it, so it's not for everyone. But anyway. Okay, now getting into the actual Vinegar Syndrome releases for October, and I did, as usual, rank these from what I'm least excited to watch to what I'm most excited to watch, doing the least first. And a reminder, I will be putting out at some point when I get through all of these, a video ranking, kind of giving short reviews on each one and ranking them. So you can look for that, but it might be some weeks because, you know, there's a lot and I've got some stuff going on. So the one I'm least excited about, The Ghost Dance. This one is a pretty cool slipcover, I think. Like the back too. It's a nice slipcover. The original artwork, pretty plain, not great. And just on the inside. Okay. When an excavation team led by Dr. K. Foster unearths a burial site on an American Indian reservation, the tribal elders caution them that they are bringing about great danger, for they have disturbed the resting place of Nahala, who, legend has it, was a sadistic and feared cult leader. Ignoring these warnings, however, the team transports the body back to the museum in hopes of identifying it. Sure enough, the grim predictions soon come to pass when a young couple are found gruesomely slaughtered after a late-night love-making session at the museum. Unbeknownst to Dr. K and her team, a local medicine man has managed to summon Nahala. Now possessed by his evil spirit, he is stalking the shadows, intent on meting out bloody vengeance to those who have disturbed his slumber. So yeah, not super excited about this one. I watched the trailer. It looks pretty low budget, not great. It looks like there isn't a whole lot going on in it, unfortunately. Oh, the next one I'm going to show you is actually not a part of their October releases, but I did just happen to pick it up. I'm not going to read the synopsis on the back just because it's a film a lot of people know, and that's just Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I've actually never seen it before, so I wanted to just go ahead and pick up the 4K. I asked my buddy Rich, I was just like, Rich, is this film actually worth buying? Because it was part of their, like, they had this, like, slasher sale, I think it was in September, where certain slashers, there was, like, one each day that they had on sale. Or no, it was, like, a bunch on just a few days. And this was one, and I'm like, I've never seen it. I'll just check it out. So, yeah, I got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Okay, back to the October films. So the one that I'm second to least excited about, but still excited about, is Dial D for Demons. Now, this is, I think, this is a Hong Kong film. And it looks like it's kind of like Ghost Story-ish, which I'm not super into, but it looks fun. The trailer looks kind of like goofy, ridiculous fun. But again, this is kind of simplistic, but I do like it. I think it looks kind of like spooky and cool. And then I just flipped it on the inside. And there's a poster in here. And that's the inside. Okay. Needing a break from their busy lives, a group of young professionals living in Hong Kong decide to take a few days off and spend some time relaxing on a quiet and secluded island. After arriving at their rental property, one of the friends, who has the ability to see ghosts, begins having terrifying visions of people who have taken their own lives by inhaling burning charcoal. Interesting. To make matters worse, the group of friends starts to receive cryptic messages on their pagers. Remember pagers, people? Soon the horror of the property begins to reveal itself, and the group has no choice but to try to survive the night before falling victim to the evil that awaits them. Now, one of the other big reasons I got this one was that Jordan Chan is in it, who's in the film Biozombie, which I love, and I really liked his performance in that. So I was like, yeah, I definitely got to check that out. So, excited to watch Dial D for Demon. And if people wanted to know my number, 236. I think this might be like the lowest of the numbered releases I've ever gotten from Vinegar Syndrome, honestly. Which, you know, like, it doesn't really matter, but, like, it also feels kind of cool to have, like, a low number. I don't know. Okay, so the next one I'm pretty excited about because this is totally my style of film. It looked like, I watched the trailer, it looks just ridiculous stupid, and that's what I like. Mindbenders, and I'll just show you the number I got is 441, also relatively low. But Mindbenders, love this cover. Love even more what's on the back, which I think was the original artwork, which is what I flipped the inside to. This one also having a poster with it, which, who knows, maybe I want to put that up. Frankie and Crash run the most popular high school radio show in town, keeping the students buzzing with rock and roll music and rebellious influences. But when Principal Borden decides the good times are rolling too freely, he brings in the mysterious Dr. Gunbo to implement a new behavioral modification program. Almost immediately, the school's radio station is commandeered by agents of the program, and shortly thereafter, the students start displaying increasingly disturbing and zombie-like behavior while developing a newfound taste for violence against anyone who won't conform. Realizing that whatever is going on is forcibly changing their friends, Frankie and Crash take it upon themselves to find out what Dr. Gunbo is up to and the ultimate goal of his mind-bending conspiracy. Yeah, this one looks like a lot of fun. It's kind of like a sci-fi aspect. It's like sci-fi horror, but also like intentionally ridiculous, not supposed to be taken all that seriously. And the trailer reminded me a lot of the same feel I got from Voyage of the Rock Aliens and Surf 2, which are two films that I own from Vinegar Syndrome that I really enjoy. They're just my thing. Like, I like dumb, ridiculous, over-the-top stuff, and this looks like that. So, Mindbenders. Okay, so the next one is their cinematograph release for October, and this one looked very interesting. Now, I bought the majority of the cinematograph releases this year and have really enjoyed them. I just didn't get Touch or Going South because they didn't really look like my thing, even though they might be pretty good. So I got Shanks, and this one looks very interesting. As usual, the packaging's really cool. I hate the J cards. I really hate the J cards. I'm not a fan of those at all. Like, it's very easy to like get it ripped off in one way or another, and it's just, you're also there. A lot of times there's artwork on the back, but if you have the J card on, you're not seeing the artwork, so it's like, what's the purpose? I don't know. But anyway, and it's also obscuring the artwork on the front, so I'm just not a fan. Okay, so they have their typical pull tab here for their booklet, which I do like these booklets a lot, especially because because they have the booklets, they're always coming with essays, which I'm a huge fan of their essays. They're wonderful. And then here are their discs, because it is 4K and a Blu-ray. All right, so let me go ahead and read, after I put this in, about Shanks. Malcolm Shanks is a deaf-mute reclusive puppeteer who lives with his overbearing sister and her lush of a husband, Mr. Barton. The only source of joy in his harsh world is his puppets, which is noticed by a beguiling inventor named Dr. Baker, also played by Marcel Marceau, who plays Shanks as well, who promptly offers him a job as his assistant. Upon Dr. Baker's sudden death, Shanks discovers that he can, with the aid of electrodes, reanimate the dead, bringing a new reality to their experiments. This is the final film from gimmick-prone American film genre film icon William Castle. I watched the trailer. It looked very quirky, very wild, very fun and interesting. It's like a black comedy, I think. So this looks, I'm very intrigued by this one. So Shanks. Then the next one is one that has wonderful packaging, and I've heard people, complaining about the fact that this is a Roman Polanski film online, which I get that. Like, you don't want your money going to someone like Roman Polanski. I'm kind of like, this is actually a film I've been wanting to see, though. So, kind of glad to have it for that reason, but it is Tenant, or I think The Tenant, sorry. So yeah, back packaging doesn't show a whole lot, but they did these like magnetic window panes here that you can open up, and then they don't extend super far though, so like it's a little bit hard. That's why they had to have one of these like felt pull tab thingies. And then on the inside there is, first of all, a essay book, which rock on. As I just said, big fan of those. And then there is the actual, is 4K? Yeah, 4K. There and there. And then the original artwork, which I really like. This is actually simplistic but cool. And the inside, Blu-ray 4K. Trelkovsky freshly arrived in Paris and is desperate need of a place to live. After inquiring at a large apartment complex run by the brooding Monsieur Z, he's offered the room of Simone Clou, a resident who recently attempted suicide by throwing herself out of the window. Undeterred by this macabre event, Trelkovsky is happy to move in. Shortly thereafter, he meets Stella, Simone's friend, and does his best to comfort and befriend her. Quickly integrating into Stella's bohemian social scene, Trelkovsky hopes that his life is finally turning a corner. That is, until his new neighbors begin acting strangely, making wild accusations against him. And displaying increasingly sinister and violent behaviors. As the weeks go on, Trelkovsky begins to suspect that something is very wrong in the stuffy old building, and that Simone's fatal plunge might not have been her own doing. So, yeah. It sounds interesting. I've heard that this actually is a very good film. Actually, my second membership tier with my channel is named The Tenant. The first one is Peeping Tom, because I wanted to make them like takes on voyeurism like a little bit, because part of my perks are like seeing videos that aren't released yet. So that's that kind of whole thing. But anyway, The Tenant. Very interested to check this one out. We'll see how it goes. All right, the one I am second most excited about, no big surprise to people here if you know me, Forgotten Gialli Volume 7. We are up to Volume 7. This is the second volume to be put out this year, and I think this is an 80s volume. And I haven't seen any of these films, which is wonderful. I always like when I haven't seen any of them. There it has Mystere, Obsession, A Taste for Fear, and Sweets from a Stranger. They always do great, like this. Like, I love this one, but like this. Oh my gosh. And then there is some additional artwork on here. There's this, and then I'm going to have to cover it. This on the back, because there's nipples, so I have to cover that. Just love the detail that go into their boxes. And their boxes, the box feels like they may have made it thicker than the last one, because the volume 6 they put out was kind of thin. Feels like this one might be a little thicker. Anyway, so the first film in here is Mystere. There you go. There's not really anything on the back. On the inside, you got like a face, whatever. Mystere is one of Rome's top calling girls whose clients range from political elites to business executives. Her friend Pamela, another prostitute, steals an expensive lighter from a recent client only to be mysteriously murdered shortly thereafter. When Mystere discovers that not only has Pamela been killed, but also the client from whom she stole the lighter, she realizes that her own life might be in danger. A fear quickly validated when she narrowly survives an assassination attempt. Desperate to figure out why she and Pamela were targeted, she finds an ally in Inspector Colt, who has been tasked with solving the crimes. But as their investigation deepens, it becomes clear that the seemingly ordinary lighter holds a potentially deadly secret. Very interesting. I love giallo, so especially anytime I get to see a giallo I've never seen, I get very excited about that one. Okay, so then the next one is Obsession, A Taste for Fear. Love this. Love it. Looks so cool. And then on the inside, very alluring. Let me look and is there... Nope, there's no nudity there. Oh, there's a gun though. Ooh, there's a gun. That is an interesting image right there. Very interesting image. Set in a semi-futuristic, technology-infused world, Diane is a top photographer for erotic and fashion magazines whose sexually liberated lifestyle carries over to her work. However, when Diane's newest model, the statuesque Tegan, is found murdered on her set, suspicion follows not only on Diane, but her entire production crew and other models. While Inspector Arnold initially assumes the killer is a nerdy technician, a second murder, which is captured on video, reveals the assailant to be a beautiful woman. Sounds interesting. God, I love giallo, man. These sound so good. Okay, and then the last one in the box set, Sweets from a Stranger. Also looks good. Let's see what's on the inside. Oh, this one, I don't need to move the disc for this one. It's very similar to the Mystere one. A bicycle-riding, razor-wielding killer is stalking and slashing Rome's ladies of the night. Stella, who has risen above the level of streetwalker and now works as a high-class escort, is shocked when she learns that a dear friend has become the maniac's latest victim. Disgusted by the failure of the police to either find the killer or even protect other women, she hatches her own plan to help fellow prostitutes organize and learn self-defense in the hopes that their own actions will lead to the culprit's unmasking. A lot of things in that synopsis that sound very quintessentially giallo. Very, like, cliche giallo, but honestly, when I watch giallo films, I don't need that much new stuff. It's a comfort genre for me. I just love how the genre is. Okay, and that leads me to the film I'm most excited about, and I've been excited for this release pretty much all year, because as soon as they let it known that this was being released in October, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Finally, people will have an opportunity to check this out. I saw this movie a few years ago. It was on Giallo Realms channel on YouTube, which has since been taken down for very obvious reasons. That is the Hong Kong Cat 3 film Corpse Mania. This is a great film. Very underseen, very underrated. Not for everyone, because it has intimate material with bodies. But it's done tastefully, I will say that. Kind of weird to say that, but you know. But artwork looking pretty cool. I will say also this film looks great. The cinematography is outstanding. Flipped that on the inside. There is a nice essay book. I was so excited to find that they had an essay booklet in here, because I'm like, yes, I definitely want an essay of Corpse Mania. After a defiled corpse is discovered in an abandoned building, Inspector Zhang recognizes the scene as being similar to other mutilated bodies that have been turning up in the area. Realizing that there is a deranged serial killer at large, Zhang's investigation soon leads him to a local brothel run by the headstrong Madame Lan, which appears to be the killer's hunting ground. While public suspicion soon falls on a recently released from prison necrophile, Zhang is unconvinced, believing that the killer and their motive are hiding in plain sight. It says that the film masterfully fuses Shaw Brothers' well-regarded dramatic period pieces with the structure and style of the Italian giallo, offering foggy streets, gelled lighting, and grisly murders perpetuated by black-clad killer. There's a lot of twists. There are a bunch of twists in this film, too. The ending is very satisfying. This is a great film. That's why it's the one I'm most excited about. I'm going to rewatch this. Cannot wait. How many special features? Looks like, there's an 82-minute feature presentation in HDR. Oh, I thought that was I thought that was going to be a making of. I was wrong. But yeah, there's some pretty good special features on here. But I'll report back on that when I do my video ranking all these releases, and I'm excited. This is a good haul of films, I think. So right now is where I'd like you to just kind of comment. Did you get any of these? Are there any Vinegar Syndrome films that you picked up recently that you're really into, or just any films in general? It doesn't have to be horror or anything that you picked up that you're just excited to talk about, because my channel is about excitement and, getting into the nerdy things that you're into. Yes, I focus on horror because that's something I'm really into, also some food tasting videos, but if you ever just want to talk to me about what you're passionate about, go ahead and do that. I think that's great. I encourage that stuff. So, anyway, thanks everyone for taking your time to watch this. And until next time, keep it brutal.